Om Kayena vacha manasyendrayirva Bhutyatmanava prakriti swabhava Karomi adyat sakalam paresma Narayana samarpayami Narayana samarpayami.
Dear Seeker of Truth, welcome. In this series of videos, we are going to talk about Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, of divine love, of God realization. So we are going to talk about the Narada Bhakti Sutras, a beautiful work attributed to sage Narada that talks about in full length of the path of devotion. May you all find inspiration in this work. May you all find meaning and purpose in your spiritual quest through these words. This kind of work, these words, these sutras, they bring light and they open the door to the life of the real quest for liberation. May you also find divine love in your heart. Moving on, Narada Bhakti Sutras, chapter 17, Bhaktas above caste and creed. Sutra 72. Among them, the devotees, there is no distinction based on caste, learning, beauty, family or birth, wealth, observance of profession, and the like. Because all are qualified for bhakti, all are qualified to seek for God. And these things do not make any difference, so you shouldn't judge them based on any of these things. So you should never judge a devotee or a saint by his birth or literacy attainments. So a saint, the one who has realized God already, is God. So judging these different saints, this is not good, because it is God himself. And those who are seeking God, these things make no difference, so don't judge them. In devotion, caste, culture, physical appearance, birth, wealth, occupation doesn't matter. He who dedicates all at the feet of the Lord, who constantly remembers him, succeeds in attaining God consciousness. So everyone is qualified. A saint has risen above the three gunas. He shines with the resplendence of divine illumination. He does not belong to any caste community, but to the whole humanity. He is God himself. So judging saints, it's not smart. And moves against you, because eventually, for you to judge, you have to be some high place, and this will only feed your pride. But judging a saint or devotees, this goes against your spiritual discipline. Sutra 73. Because they are all his own, they all belong to God. So don't judge them. Devotees belong to the Lord. They are the objects of his special love. He loves them for their sincere devotion and pure virtuous life. The devotees become the embodiments of the divine on account of their devotion. Therefore, they lose the sense of difference amongst themselves. There is no superior. Instruction to Devotees, Chapter 18, Sutra 74. No controversy ought to be entered. So no spiritual discussions should be entered, because this is very bad for the devotee. It entices pride, arrogance, and intellectual just obstacles, impurities. So these things are not good and distracts the devotee from God. So no controversies should be entered into. Your path is towards God and God only. So you shouldn't waste any time with this. And this is tainting your spiritual practices. The devotee should not enter into any type of argumentation, especially regarding the existence or attributes of God or any spiritual beliefs. Whatever is a path to God is a path to God. Those who say, oh, it's the dual philosophy, non-dual philosophy, it's the bhakti, it's this and that, all this comes from ignorance. Everything leads to God. You should follow your own path and not push your path onto others, because this is honoring your path and honoring the others, but it's the same. And it is ignorance that brings these discussions, and entering these discussions increases your ignorance and other things. Discussion is intellectual luxury. Pride takes place. And it's about affirming one's beliefs. I'm right, you're wrong, and all of this. This is blindness and madness. The duty of the devotee is to love God and realize God. Love is above reasoning. Love is above reasoning. No need to know when the world was created, how it was created, only to love God. So, all these teachings are nice, but it's about love. And the absence of love is silence for other paths of God. Then it is about love, nothing else. So these informations, they are not required to love God. They become a distraction even. Those who indulge in these argumentations cannot dream on getting a darshan of God. But a little divine conversation can be had between people who are united in hearts and who are free from pride for removing doubts and exchanging ideas. So what this means is, in the spirit of humbleness, a conversation can be there to clarify doubts. Meaning, no one is pushing no one. Someone wants to know something sincerely, and he asks with sincerity, and the other one answers it back, not pushing it, just answering sincerely to the question. And the other one, which asked the question, is not judging. It is really thirsty for that answer. So this is constructive. The rest has no place. Sutra 75. For there is plenty of room for diversity in views, and no one view, based upon mere reason, is conclusive in itself. So no view based upon in reason is conclusive of itself. So whatever path, philosophy, or teaching that you are following, that is just a means. Because when it becomes alive, it's basically the same. But if you're not making the path, you will not know this. You will base your conclusions about right and wrong, good or bad, according to your intellectual characteristics, because you miss the actual practice. So by mere reason alone, but there's room for diversity. There's just diversity in means, but it is all the same. It is the same path, independently of the means, as life of the spiritual path comes in, as it becomes alive, then it is all the same. It is in the same direction and reaches the same end. Okay, so Sutra 76. For the attainment of bhakti, the teachings of scriptures that promote devotion should be constantly meditated upon, and actions that rouse devotion should be performed. So, embedding your whole being into devotion, reading about devotion, and doing actions constantly that rouse devotion, this should be the goal of the devotee, not leaving any room for ungodly actions, actions that distance you from God, that makes you forget God, actions that make you that make your mind gross, dense. All this should be avoided. So all actions should be performed that raises devotion, and meditate upon the scriptures that speak about devotion. A devotee should study books that place before him the ideal of devotion, the glory, the sweetness, and the leelas of the Lord, the stories of saints, and the practices that help him cultivate devotion. He should seek inspiration for devotion at all times. Every act that awakens the emotion of bhakti must be done. Should awake that devotion of bhakti constantly and making it bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Keep yourself in the puja room clean, burn incense. Present yourself accordingly in the presence of God. Practice right conduct, satsang, being in the presence of saints. Japa, repeating divine name. Smarana, to remember the name. Kirtan, to sing the glories. Prayer, speaking to God. Worship, service to saints. Residence in places of pilgrimage or ashrams. Service to the poor and the sick with divine bhav, with divine love, that divine feeling that I am serving God. Fulfilling of duties, offering all actions and fruits to the Lord. Feeling the presence of the Lord in all beings. Prostrations before the image of the Lord. And before saints with all the 8 parts of the body. And this is to bring complete surrender in the mind, complete reverence in the mind. Renunciation of earthly enjoyments and wealth, charity, austerities and vows, practice of ahimsa, satya and brahmacharya. All this will help you develop bhakti, real bhakti. You must not be lenient to the mind. You must rigidly follow the rules prescribed in the Bhakti Shastra, because the mind will always try to divert you to entertain those actions that don't lead to God. Sutra 77. One should not waste even half a second, as all time one has for meditation is the little that remains after what is spent in the experience of pleasure, pain, desire, and gain. So, after all the time spent in illusion, what is left is for meditation. So, as you cannot bring everything towards meditation, towards God consciousness, you should not waste time, because after what is left, after what is spent in worldly experiences, is the time left for meditation. Sutra 78. Virtues like non-violence, truth, purity, compassion, faith in the Vedas and the existence of God, and other excellences, courage, charity, control of senses, austerity, straightforwardness, humility, self-abnegation, tranquility, freedom from wrath, tenderness of heart, sobriety, forgiveness, fortitude, in character should be strictly cultivated and protected by all means, like has been explained. And to do this, remember, there's one very important one: not mixing with worldly people. This is very important, because or else you'll still continue to feed your traits that are opposite these ones, and your devotion cannot grow. Sutra 79. The Lord alone should always be worshipped by one wholeheartedly, free from all cares and anxieties. So after renounce everything, during renunciation, after renunciation, you should always put your mind into God and God alone. There shouldn't be any other thought, any other attention given to anything else but God. This is how you achieve uninterrupted devotion to God. So wholeheartedly, free from all cares and anxieties. This is only after renunciation of the world, of sense objects, possessions, everything. Sutra 80. Being thus invoked or glorified, he, the Lord, manifests himself and blesses his devotees with realization. So being thus invoked and glorified, the Lord manifests itself in the devotee, and that is realization, God realization. So once you have glorified, because there's this idea of achievement, and self-realization is a blessing. So this idea of achievement through pride, through self-effort, and all of this is illusion. Because when you have really pleased God, when you have transformed all yourself with these divine qualities, when you have purged your sins, when you're honoring God constantly, when your devotion maintains itself unbrokenly, it manifests in you, and that is self-realization. Bhakti, the Best Means, Chapter 19, Sutra 81. Only love of the absolute eternal truth is the greatest. This love, indeed, is the greatest. The more uplifting, the more satisfying, the most beautiful, the most pure. All other loves are tainted by some impurity, or many. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, among all yogis, he who, full of faith, with his inner self merged with me, he is deemed by me to be the most divine. Thus the bhakta is given the highest place. Parabhakti and Gyan are one, so there is no difference. Like I said, it is the same destination. It is the same journey also. The spiritual quest is the same journey that before it starts, before the path is alive, the quest is alive, before the dawning of devotion, they seem different, but they have the same destination in goal, and when it becomes alive, is the same path. Keeping that life and growing that life until God manifests in you by His blessing. Sutra 82. Bhakti, or divine love, though in itself only one, manifests itself in the following 11 forms. First, the love of glorification of the Lord's blessed qualities. Second, love of His enchanting beauty. 3, love of worship. 4, love of the constant remembrance. 5, love of service. 6, love of Him as a friend. 7, love of Him as a child. 8, love of Him as that of a wife for her husband. 9, love of self-surrender to Him. And 10, love of complete absorption in Him. 11, love of the pain of separation from Him. First of all, the devotee serves God as a servant serves his master. Like we said, without wanting anything in return. Then he approaches him as a friend. It becomes more personal. Then it rises higher and reveals parental love as father and son towards God. Lastly, when the two become one in spirit, the devotee develops all the marks of a devoted wife towards her husband. You can know you love God when you cannot live without Him, because that separation is too painful. The purpose of life of a devotee is to lose all sense of self. Viraha is the highest manifestation of love. It is common characteristics of devotees because it is in the nature of intense love that it cannot bear separation. This is one of the supreme tests of devotion. So, and many times the devotee says that he cannot live without God. Then God tests. Not all pass that test. So, Sutra 83, kind of conclusion. Thus, the teachers of devotion, Sanat Kumar, Vyas, Sukha, Sandilya, Garga, Vishnu, Kaundinya, Sesha, Uddhava, Haruni, Bali, Hanuman, Vibhishana, etc., proclaim unanimously in this strain without fear of carping criticism of men, because they are basing themselves in their own realization. Those are the names of the highest personalities who held the same view as sage Narada. They are Sutra 84. He who believes and has faith in this auspicious teaching expounded by Narada becomes endowed with bhakti and realizes the most beloved Lord and attains the most beloved Lord. So Narada now says that those who embrace these teachings with faith, they will achieve the Lord. They will achieve the fruits of these teachings. Okay. So this concludes the Narada Bhakti Sutras, these sutras of sage Narada, and I leave here a special thanks to the author of these sutras, because I don't know how to read Sanskrit, so I choose a translation in English that I feel it is good. But this translation had also the comments and lots of different points that I was sure it was going to enrich this commentary, so I kept them and I put them here. I never talk about authors because they don't need to. No one needs. The author is God. But to him, my special thanks in the name of you all, because this has made it more rich for all of you. May you all contemplate on these teachings. May you all find divine bhakti in your hearts. Okay.
Tvameva mata cha pita tvameva, tvameva bandhushka sakha tvameva, tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva, tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva.